don't have any volume. Can you hear me?
Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch City Council meeting for Tuesday, June 16th. Our first order of business will be our invocation, our pledges. So if you would please stand and join me. Heavenly Father, we ask that you shine your light on our city this evening and our city council, as we're here to do important work for our community. Help us to remember that we are here to serve others and not ourselves, that we are here to make decisions that will move our community forward, recognizing that we serve many different people. Give us guidance to look beyond ourselves. We ask that you also shine your light on our first responders, our police officers, firefighters. They are serving our community every day without fail, and we ask that you help keep them safe. And finally, may the blessings that you have given us be a reminder that serving others is service to you. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen. If you would, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. So just so everybody knows, item H, which are the ceremonial items for this evening, we are moving that to July 7th. So we will go right into items of community interest.
Good evening. My name is Ariel Wallace, Communications Manager, and here are your items of community interest for the week. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary and the City of Farmers Branch's 80th anniversary with the citywide patriotic display. Farmers Branch residents and businesses are invited to participate by displaying free American and City of Farmers Branch flags from July 1st through 5th. Starting June 15th, stop by the Recreation Center, Mansky Library, or City Hall to pick up your free U.S. flag. Limit 5 per person. Available while supplies last. For more details, visit farmersbranchtx.gov/1713. The Farmers Branch Police Department's Police Transparency webpage offers residents insight into its license plate reader, LPR, and drone first responder programs, DFR. Through this page and the linked Flock Safety Transparency portal, the community can review how these public safety technologies are utilized, explore the strict privacy safeguards in place, and see the department's ongoing commitment to accountability. Visit farmersbranchtx.gov/1712/police-transparency for more information. Farmers Branch departments recently earned major state and national accolades for excellence in community service. Animal Services showcased its Model Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Return, TNVR program at the prestigious Best Friends National Conference, while the Communications Department won a Tamio Award for Excellence for Best Overall Website. Additionally, the Fire Department received the American Heart Association's Mission Lifeline EMS Gold Achievement Award for its rapid life-saving emergency care. These achievements exemplify the exceptional work done daily across city departments, demonstrating a continuous commitment to excellence in service to the community. Celebrate Independence Day with us as the city honors America's 250th and our own 80th anniversary with live music, family activities, food vendors, and a spectacular fireworks show. Admission to the July 3rd event is free for residents with a firecracker pass available in the May-June Branch Review newsletter or at city facilities. Bring your lawn chairs and blankets for an unforgettable evening. But please note that local construction will impact parking. Be sure to check the event webpage ahead of time for the parking map, admission details, and schedule. Visit farmersbranchtx.gov/special events. As always, you can sign up for City e-News at farmersbranchtx.gov or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Next up are our public comments. Let me remind everybody that there is a 3-minute time limit. When you come up to the podium, please state your name and address. Your signal to stop will be when the red light goes off or you hear the tone. And we have several folks that have signed up to speak tonight. So the first is Kenneth Francic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Good evening. My name is Kenneth Francic. I reside at 3380 Dorado Beach Drive in Farmers Branch. I'm here today to speak in opposition to the Council's approval of the calendar of events dated June 17th, 2025. I was recently made aware of such a calendar and its designated topics for each month. I was appalled by the selection of such groups of people for which this council has apparently inserted their own personal ideology and failed to represent the entire population of the city for which they were elected to represent. City government was formed to manage the affairs of the city for which it represents and to represent the affairs of all its residents fairly and equally. As we celebrate the 250th year since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we should be focused on our founding and what it took to fight for the freedoms we so richly enjoy. Our founding fathers, as a united group of men and their families, stood for a just and noble cause to separate from the tyranny of the King of England. Many fought for these freedoms throughout the Revolutionary War years, enduring hardships that we can't imagine, and loss of life was extreme during these difficult years. The Constitution of the United States brought about the structure and definition of who we are and what we represent. Our founding fathers made it abundantly clear that we were and still are one nation under God with life, liberty, and justice for all. Not only in the Pledge of Allegiance are we granted freedom and justice, but again in the preamble to the Constitution. During our long history, we have survived many hard and difficult situations, from our own Civil War that divided the nation to the entrance into World War I and II. Other world conflicts involving the U.S. and the tragedy of 9/11 had a common outcome. These events brought us back together as one united nation under our Creator. We made a promise to those who were killed to never forget and move forward together as a nation, working together to ensure our freedoms remain for all. This nation remains today because of who we are, united to survive despite those that try to divide from within. We can overcome as long as we remember our roots as a nation working together for freedom for all. This brings me back to the opposition. The January Muslim heritage, this appears to favor the religion of Islam, which appears to be a specific ideology by one or more members of the council, which does not reflect the beliefs of a majority of the people of Farmers Branch. Islam is an ideology that is not compatible with the U.S. Constitution, which governs our system of government and represents us, citizens of this great country. Your past action of approval has ignited community concerns and opposition to this council.
Mr. Francic? Sorry.
Thank you.
Next up is Christy Diamond.
Sorry, we're so slow.
You're fine.
Hi, and congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
My name is Christy Diamond, and this is Lily, and we live at 3180 White Marsh Circle. Sweetie, I know she thinks she's on stage. Come here. You may remember her at the Firehouse Theater when she performed a couple of times at different years, where she performed as Sandy in the musical Annie. And she is a wonderful person in my life. I worked at the Red Cross for several years during various disasters. I met Lily at a shelter in 2015 during the Christmas tornadoes in Rowlett and Garland. All the shelters were unprepared for the destruction that occurred. The shelters took in thousands of animals because they were loose and all the homes were destroyed. And so I convinced FEMA to let me have Lily. And so the point I'm trying to make is that the shelter is a fabric of our city, just like the police department and the fire department. The purpose of my speaking to you is that the city is facing an urgent need to expand the shelter now and not wait until the year 2018. I respectfully request that the City Council consider placing the shelter expansion project on the agenda at each meeting and continue discussing the project until it's completed this year. In 2021, that's 7 years ago, Dorothy Holly left $1.5 million as the sole purpose to expand the Farmers Branch Animal Shelter for her love of cats. Assuming prudent investment of these funds over the past several years by the city, the value of the donation should exceed $2 million. Ben Williamson explained to me that the needs assessment and cost analysis are complete. The concept includes 1,000 square feet of additional design for the cat solarium, and it would also replace the shelter's roof. These improvements would increase the cat capacity from 30 to 40, while allowing several existing spaces to be repurposed for the dogs, improving all of the overall functionality and efficiency of the staff. He mentioned this may not be completed until the year end of 2027. I would like to thank Ben and Tina for their support for the expansion and for attending several of our animal advisory meetings in the last 2 years. However, I pray that you'll see the urgency that this be done now and not in 2018. When Gary Greer served as the city manager, he and the city council successfully moved forward with the construction of the current animal shelter, which opened in 2009 when Farmers Branch had approximately 20,000 residents. Today, our city has more than 40,000. Yet the shelter frequently operates beyond capacity, and euthanasia numbers remain serious concern.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Christy.
Okay.
3 minutes.
I think y'all got the point.
Yep.
Okay.
So let me just remind everybody, it's 3 minutes. Next up is Stacy Tibbetts.
Hi, I'm Stacy Tibbetts. I'm at 14072 Stardust. I didn't have anything really prepared. I saw the note about the calendar that you guys approved. It's fine. That's not, like, we got bigger fish to fry. It's great. Then I also saw last week, I think it was last week, where you guys were discussing potential renovations or giving $30,000 for renovations for the Firehouse Theater. And I would point out that there's not really any kind of discount or anything. Like, they do stuff for kids, like the weeks for summer, and it's $450 per week in order for kids to attend their things. And then in Carrollton, it's $275. So if they're asking for money, maybe we could have like some kind of negotiation where like maybe Farmers Branch residents can get a discount or something like that. Anyway, that's really all I had to say. But thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
25 votes, like every vote counts.
Next up is Price Trosen. Excuse me.
Mayor, Council, first of all, congratulations, Mayor Lynn, on your victory. Congratulations, Councilperson Bennett Burton, on your victory as well. The elections are all over, so now let's get back down to business, hey?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Name and address.
Sorry?
Name and address.
I'm sorry?
Name and address.
Oh, sorry. Price Chosen, 2711 Mount View, Farmers Branch, Texas. Thanks so much. Forgot. Anyway, so I'm here today to talk about, okay, we're back to work. Let's get going. What we want, what everybody wants, and everybody says is, I want my taxes lowered. Oh, I'm tired of all these taxes. Well, there's one way to be able to increase taxes without raising them, and that is density. There is areas all over Farmers Branch. I've seen some areas on the far west side. There's the apartment over in Councilperson Villafranca's district of the apartments that went up, of getting new homes vertically and more dense. In my neighborhood over and off of Tom Field, we have had multiple giant homes they look to be 4,000, 5,000 square feet. They are massive homes. And in those homes, you could easily fit 3 to 4 extra residences, whether they be smaller single family like the affordable housing that's going up just off of Valley View, or splitting them into condos or 3 flats like they have in Chicago. The single stair that was approved in Texas for the 6th floor. We just really need more density if we don't want our taxes to go up. See, that's why no one would vote for me if I ever ran for council, because my slogan would be, I'm going to raise your taxes. So I'm never running, obviously, because it'd be a waste of money. So either that, or we just need to get more density. Building vertically is the future. Building vertically and building more dense is where Farmers Branch can excel. We have some space. We have older space. We have old office space that's unoccupied. We can do so much better with getting more people here and getting that revenue. And one final thing before I go, something that was brought up in the campaign was apartments, and how we don't want to, and this was just by one of the candidates, we don't want apartments here because we don't want the transient population. But I'm here to say, from the time I moved out of my parents' house to the time that I moved into 2711 Mount View, which was over 30 plus years, I was a renter. I rented, I worked in the area, I visited businesses in the area, and I patronized businesses in the area. So don't discount people just because they rent. You know, you can get the tax revenue from the landlords, which I'm very fine with, but we're good.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is Robert Ball.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. This is very important to me because...
Name and address.
Pardon, is Robert Ball, address 3235 Whispering Oak, Farmers Branch, Texas. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It is a wonderful thing that we have, this wonderful city. It's my desire that our wonderful council will consider, as you go jointly look at the calendar of events for acknowledgement of social media, that you'll unite and be strengthened and advance and inspire something for all of our citizens. It's important that we have a strong council focused on what is about all of our wonderful citizens. I've reviewed the proposed copy of the 2027 social media calendar presented, and it's something of great concern to me because it appears to lack clarity, and it's somewhat unfocused in intent, in my opinion, by the people who prepared it. I apologize to them. I suggest that we, the council, give serious attention to this proposal, because it could be divisive, and I don't want it to be anything to be dividing us in this wonderful city of ours. We are a city that is the gem in the entire Fort Worth and Dallas area. You need to know that. And if you don't believe that, then I'm telling you, we want to be here in Farmers Branch. However, we don't want anything to unfocus, nothing to give, shall we say, disclarity to the people. Monthly focus events are important, and two of these are of great concern to me that have come up on a recent calendar proposal. and that's the Muslim American Heritage Month in January and the Pride Month in June. I encourage the council to reconsider, review, and these unique factors of generations of great people like you who have brought this country and this city to its height. I encourage the council to weigh, to renew and their focus, and to commit all of the factors that make our great city a important heart thing for themselves. As the council reviews the calendar, please reflect that these, shall we say, thoughts and ideas that are presented monthly should be something that unite us, that bring us together, that give us a focus for the future as well. And if that anything gets in the way of that, then in fact, it's wrong. We need to be reconsidered. I propose that you revisit the proposals for the calendar and that you plan with wisdom and strength for the success of this wonderful committed community. Again, congratulations on the recent elections, and we congratulate you for what you do, because what you do affects every one of us, and we thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that is all the speakers that I have signed up to speak this evening, so we'll move on to our consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second, if you would. Please indicate your vote accordingly. Councilwoman Villafranca is a yes. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And I forgot to mention at the onset, Councilwoman is at a seminar, so she is joining us online this evening. Next up is item M1, which is to receive an annual update from the Firehouse Theater.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Darren Harris, Deputy Director of Economic Development. I have the pleasure of introducing David Moore, who's the Executive Director with the Firehouse Theater, and he'll be giving you an annual update on his operations at the Firehouse Theater.
Thank you, Council. David Moore, Executive Director of the Firehouse Theater, 14615 Cypress Point Drive. I've only lived here 55 years. I know it's a shock because I'm only 45, so you do the math. We're thrilled to be here to give our annual presentation. I'm going to invite up Owen Beans, our Artistic Director, and we're going to kind of do a volley back and forth here. We won't take a lot of time. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. There we go. I've thrown up our mission, our vision, and our values. We publish these everywhere on our website. They're in the theater when you walk in. We publish them throughout the year on our various social media platforms, and you can see what we're about in this statement here. This past year, we worked on our 2028 strategic plan. Just like the city goes through a strategic planning process, we do this every 3 years. And so we worked the last year updating that. And these are our 8 initiatives, our visions for the future. Being a regionally recognized performing arts leader, maintaining an excellent people-oriented culture, having a flexible, efficient, and functional facility, being growth-oriented, diversified, and having sustainable revenues, providing impactful education and community engagement, expanded and inclusive programming, highly engaged, diverse leadership, and exceptional volunteer recruitment and engagement. Now I hand it off to Owen.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Owen Beans. I'm the artistic producer at the Firehouse, and I live at 2821 Millwood Drive. You can kind of think of me somewhat as the director of programming. So I'm going to give a brief overview of our programming from this past year and a taste of what's still to come. Since David and I last stood in front of you, we've presented 7 main stage productions, 3 of those that wrapped up our 2025 season, and we've done 3 of our 7 2026 shows. We've also produced 2 Firehouse Junior musicals. We've held multiple weeks of our Acting Out summer camps, had a record-breaking season reveal gala, and we also introduced a new performing arts series with special one-night engagements featuring various North Texas artists. So I'm going to give you a brief recap of some of that programming, which you can also see on the screen. Rock of Ages played August 2025 to multiple sold-out houses, bringing the house down with classic 80s rock for a total of 15 performances and played to over 2,000 patrons. Fall of 2025 saw our production of Disney's Newsies Junior, which was the first time since the pandemic that we have run a junior show for 2 weekends of performances. It played a total of 10 performances with over 800 patrons attending, and it involved 40 students from our community, the majority of which being Farmers Branch residents. In October, we presented Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein, which ended up being our biggest hit of 2025, and it played 15 performances and saw over 2,100 audience members. Then in November, we had our record-breaking season reveal gala, Firehouse Royale, which a number of you were present for. And that incredible night saw over 300 Firehouse supporters coming together to celebrate the Firehouse. Then we closed our 2025 season with Irving Berlin's Holiday Inn. This played 14 performances and delighted over 1,900 patrons. We opened our current 2026 season in late January with the musical Ring of Fire, which is a musical portrait of the Man in Black, Johnny Cash. And Ring of Fire played 14 performances to over 1,400 patrons. In March, we presented Mel Brooks's The Producers, which has been our highest performing show year to date with over 1,900 tickets sold, including multiple sold out houses during its 15 performance run. April saw our first Firehouse Junior production of the year, The Addams Family Young at Part. This featured 22 Firehouse Junior students, with nearly half being Farmers Branch residents. The show ran for 6 performances and played to nearly 700 patrons. Then, not reflected on the screen, but because we had to turn this report in April, but in May we had Sister Act, similar to Producers. It ran for 15 performances and sold over 1,900 tickets. I assume this will... We have also... I'm going to jump forward one more. We've also held 1 week of our Acting Out summer camps, and we have 2 more of those coming up in July. We anticipate serving about 75 students in the camps this summer. The majority of students served in this program are CFB ISD students, and many of them are also Farmers Branch residents. And a handful of these students also receive need-based financial aid, which we're very grateful for, and comes from generous individual donors, as well as Carrollton Women's Club, the Civic League, and of course, Farmers Branch Women's Club. Now, let me go back again. Over the past year, we've begun more regularly dropping in some of these one-night-only engagements of other local artists so that our programming is a little more diversified and not just musical theater and plays. We've had concerts, cabaret, comedy shows, and we're looking to add some more dates with this type of programming later this fall. These events have brought about 600 patrons or so to the Firehouse and to Farmers Branch, many their first time in the theater, and some even their first time in Farmers Branch. Looking ahead, I went too far ahead. There we go. Looking ahead, we open Shrek the Musical next weekend. This has actually been one of the most requested titles by our patrons over the years, and we're so excited to finally be bringing it to the Firehouse stage. The first performance is next Wednesday and is a City of Farmers Branch employee appreciation event. So we're very excited to welcome some of our city's finest to the theater that evening and to this production next week. We'll conclude all of our summer programming with the fan favorite Grease, and then this fall with our final junior production of the year, Disney's High School Musical Junior. Then just in time for Halloween, we will have the darkly comic hit Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. And then in November, the most highly anticipated evening of the year in Farmers Branch, our season reveal gala, which this year is inspired by Studio 54. We look forward to, of course, having the city represented at a prime table that evening. And then we'll close out the season with the Firehouse premiere of Disney's Frozen. We would be thrilled to have any of you join us for any of our remaining shows this year, especially if it's been a minute since you have been able to attend. The city has an allotment of tickets that you are able to use that you just need to coordinate with the city manager's office to use. We are constantly leveling up our productions over there, and I think you would be very pleased and very proud of the quality of work that is happening right across the street in Old Fire Station number 1, right here in Farmers Branch. So that's just a quick look at our programming that we've been bringing to Farmers Branch and will continue to do so through the end of the year. And now I will hand it back to David.
A quick comment, because I anticipate the question about our acting out summer camps and the tuition price. It is $475. We handle this nonprofit like a business. And so those of you who have been in business before, you know you do what you call market analysis, and you look at all of the various competitors in the area. Let's not call them competitors. Let's call them friends. All the friendly theaters in the area. And we see, you know, what all those prices are. And I can tell you there's camps that are $1,000 a week and there's camps that are $100 a week. And so we try to find the sweet spot that hits our market. And then we have these need-based scholarships that Owen talked about. Historically, half of our attendees have been awarded need-based scholarships, and usually it's at a 50% level. So that $450 or $475 is about $225. Now we're below the city of Carrollton, which was pointed out earlier, if you apply for the need-based scholarship. Just like with any kind of financial aid, you have to apply. And generally, if you prove your need, and it doesn't take a lot to prove need. You give us your household income. You tell us if there's been a loss of job recently. You tell us if there's medical issues. You tell us if a parent is living with you. You tell us if you're a single parent. All standard things for anyone who's filled out a need-based form. And we try to accommodate all of those. This year, it's a strange year, even though the economy is difficult, and we keep hearing that. We have money left over. We have money to give away need-based scholarships. We're looking for students. And so all you have to do is go on our website and apply. And I'm not guaranteeing that you'll be qualified, because we do have some people who live in $2 million houses that make, you know, $300,000 a year that apply for need-based scholarships. And that doesn't meet the criteria. But if you meet the criteria, we will approve and we will award you to the best of our ability. So I just want to address that before I move on. As far as, this is a slide that I know the city likes for us to provide. We report this every quarter as part of our economic development grant. But this is a zip code analysis that says, where are the people coming from that come to all the different programming at the Firehouse Theater? And pretty consistently, 20-ish% of the people who come live in the city of Farmers Branch. Another 15% live in Dallas. Almost 14% live in Carrollton. Plano, Frisco, Irving, Louisville, Coppell, Flower Mound, and Addison make up another almost 20%. Another 11% come from other points in Texas, and 1% come from other states, California to Massachusetts to Minnesota to Florida. I don't think David Reed, who's from Massachusetts, has ever had a family member here from Massachusetts. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, we like to provide this because it gives you a good breakdown of the folks that are coming to the city, both that live in the city, our citizens, and those who live outside of the city. Economic return on investment and marketing reach. Every year, the Arts and Economic Prosperity, American for the Arts, does a study, not every year, every 3 or 4 years, and they do a survey of all over the United States, and they determine how much a ticket buyer spends on top of the price of the ticket. So we're going to go to a show. Typically, we might go and have drinks beforehand. We might go and have dinner afterwards. We might be coming from out of town, so we might be staying at a hotel. And so that dollar value that they assign to that is an average of $38.46. So whether you're in the ginormous city of New York or you're in the tiny, tiny Podunk, Texas, they take all of that and average it together, and it comes up to this $38.46. You multiply that times the number of patrons, and we have about $500,000 that we project is invested into the local economy, and that's a 9-month period because this is a 9-month report. So obviously, if we take it out to 12 months, it would be slightly more. And then we provide jobs to local theater artists and educators. It's around $500,000 more in compensation. So when you add it all together, it's about $1 million of reach. You can also see on the right-hand side is sort of what happens with all of our marketing, whether it's websites or social media areas, YouTube, MailChimp, et cetera. We have a pretty robust program there with a lot of followers. So when we partner with the city on things like the economic development agreement, and part of that agreement states that we will advertise city events, we try to pick city events working with economic development and the city manager, things like Gateway to the Globe. Oh, that's important. And so we'll post those on our social media, and it will go out to our 11,000 or 12,000 Facebook followers, and we will e-blast those as well. So that's how that partnership works. This is a current list of all of the different companies that sponsor the theater. I'm really happy to announce that we just had an agreement signed with Bankhead, and so Bankhead will be added to this list. And Interscape, you guys are familiar with them. Interscape just happened this week, and so we're really fortunate that we're able to add those businesses. The cool thing here is a lot of these are small type of businesses. And so we do believe in supporting the community. And then, of course, there's National Endowment of the Arts and Texas Commission on the Arts and those folks as well as the city. The city is an important sponsor of ours. We have worked with the restaurants across the street and created different packages with almost all of the restaurants. Bankhead and Roots and Radici, we've done dinner and a show packages. Currently, Red Sticks is creating our signature cocktails for each show. Last year, Locals did that for us. We partnered with At Fault, so we're doing our best to support the restaurants in the area, trying to drive traffic there and then them driving traffic back to us. That's part of what an entertainment district is all about, is sharing those folks. And so when you come to the theater, you'll see, and our drinks have become kind of a famous thing. People ask, what is the drink? And are really interested in that. They're usually show themed. Oops. So this is a slide that shows our growth over the last 9 months. It's pretty impressive what's happening across the street. The blue, the light blue on the end there is the total revenue. And you can see in this same 9-month time period a year ago, we were doing a little over $750,000. This year, we did a little over $1.2 million. We've had a 36% increase, which is about $250,000. 50,000 of that is because of the city with the economic development grant. So that's good news. But even better news is the other 200,000 wasn't the city. The other 200,000 was our gala. It was our programming. It was our patrons and donors who supported us with all of that. And so we're in a very, very good position right now. Especially for arts. We struggled for 4 to 5 years coming out of the pandemic, and in 2025 is when we actually turned the corner. And that's why we came to the city and asked for the economic development grant, because we knew that we were on the cusp and that was going to help us. We've launched the Performing Arts Series, as Owen mentioned, our youth education initiatives. We're educating at least 50 young artists in our camps, and then probably 50 more in the 2 productions that we do each year. Again, all of that need-based scholarships are available. All you have to do is apply for those. We're building long-term strength. All of our board gives, 100% of our board makes donations. We've received generous grants from Texas Commission on the Arts, TACA, which is a Dallas-based arts organization, as well as the city that partnered with us last year on the economic development grant. Finally, I'm going to be a little off script here. Usually I add a slide that's a state of the industry. And when we put this together, we had to turn this in at the end of April. And not a lot was going on that was to be reported. But just in the last 6 to 8 weeks, just in the DFW area, this is what's happened with theaters. There's a theater in Plano called Shine Plano Youth Theater. They closed. There's a theater in Bedford called Onstage in Bedford. They've been operating for 40 years in a city building. They're losing their space. They don't know where they're going. There's a theater in Fort Worth called Circle Theater. They've been around for 38 years. They're pausing their programming to figure out what to do. Water Tower Theater in Addison and Lyric Stage in Dallas, very long time operators in the area, have had recent leadership changes at the top. And there's a theater called North Texas Performing Arts. They're based in Plano, but they have a lot of locations. They have been operating out of Willow Bend Mall, and all of you know what's happened to Willow Bend Mall. It's gone, and so they're looking for space. So, we are, I'm showing you this graph, showing you great things that are happening, and now I'm telling you about 5 local partners that are struggling. And so it just shows how important it is that we continue partnering, both with the city, with the businesses, with the patrons, and continue to make sure that this is a viable endeavor in our city. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about our space. You may have heard that we recently leased some space. The Miller Ad Agency is just a few blocks down the road by the Hoya Joya Park. And we've leased 1,300 square feet there. We've moved our office and one of our storage units. We have 2 storage units, so that saved us money on a storage unit. And our goal is to get enough space, and this has been our goal, this is not new to most of you, to expand our education program for studio classes so that we can offer triple threat and acting lessons, voice lessons, dance lessons, and that we can provide rehearsal space. We're continuing to use local churches, which we're very grateful for, but long-term, having our own rehearsal space would be a good thing. To be very clear, we are not leaving Historic Fire Station number 1. We are there. All the shows will continue to be performed at Fire Station number 1. The dressing rooms will stay there. The scene shop stays there. The concessions will be sold there. The lobby remains there. The only thing that's moved is the offices and storage that was already off-site. So I know sometimes, things fly around, and I just want to make sure that everyone's clear on that. We are supportive of the space that we're able to use so graciously from the city. And then finally, I want to briefly speak about the funding that the staff has put forward to renovate the building. This is not a major renovation, it's a minor renovation. There's 2 things. One is to remove a cabinet, paint a wall, and add some stainless steel so that a popcorn machine can fit. And the other is to, now that we've removed our offices, there's an opportunity to double the size of the lobby. The lobby today holds 35 people semi-comfortably, 40 very uncomfortably. The theater holds 160 people. If we can remove this wall, we'll be able to accommodate about 80 people, maybe uncomfortably, but twice as many. And so that's all that we're asking for. The city owns the building. You're the landlord, you're the owner of the property. And so I know you've had some discussions about that. The only thing I would ask, and Roger, who is our council liaison, attended our board meeting last night. And so he knows that I'm asking this, but I would appreciate it if the council could figure out how to make that happen fast. In the corporate world, we call that fast tracking. I don't know what you guys call it in the government world, but it's $40,000. You could remove it from the budget discussions and find that money and make it happen. I don't care how you do it. Y'all are the experts at that. The main thing is if it could happen in the next 90 days or so. I realize, this is not an emergency. that water's not coming out of the floor, the roof's not leaking. This is some things that just make the building more functional. But I just want to be clear as far as what we're recommending. And I know that some projects get approved and go through the process, and they're approved, last October, and, they don't get implemented till the following October. And I'm just concerned that if that's what happens here, we're sitting with a popcorn machine that doesn't fit, and we're sitting with an empty room that could be used as a lobby. We will figure it out, but I just want to let everyone to know about that. I know David was at the karaoke kickoff and asked me about it, so I was able to walk him through it. Any of you who would like to walk over and take a look at that, I would be thrilled to show you. And that invitation's extended to all of you. I've met with each of you individually at different times, and would love to do that. I know you guys are busy. We are so appreciative of what you do for our city, and especially how you support the theater and how important you see that we are to the community. And so it's important to us to continue our good partnership with you. We would appreciate you attending our gala. It's going to be huge. There is no other gala at that time. MetroCrest Services, which has in the past, we've had galas on the same dates. They're not having theirs. And so it would be great if you guys could come. The city has a table there, and so you can save the date for that. And with that, this is just pictures of our board and our staff, and I am open to any questions.
Thank you very much, David, for the presentation. I just want to say one thing before we get into council questions, and that is, we just heard from Ms. Tibbetts, a resident, and I hope that you will make some time to connect with her after the meeting here.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
I just want to say thank you for the presentation. The first time I attended the Firehouse Theater was for the Young Frankenstein, and it was amazing. I appreciate that you set out the rest of the schedule. I do get kind of busy with 4 kids and everything, but I'm excited for the new ones that you have to come out, and I'm really interested to go. I love that you're partnering with businesses in the area, that y'all are working together. Those drinks are amazing. So just thank you for everything you're doing and for including your neighboring businesses so everyone succeeds.
Thank you.
Councilman Bennett.
Thank you. So let's go back to the 40,000. Our last meeting, was I to understand that that is the quote that was given to you by the city? That's not necessarily how much it will cost.
Yeah, so just to be clear, and I think Roger said it best. The theater's not really requesting this. This is a city-owned building, so I guess you could say the library is requesting a wall to be removed. That's kind of weird. No, the city usually says a wall needs to be removed. So I'm just raising this for the city to determine what they want to do. Yes, the city staff has taken a look and has come up with some numbers. I do not believe it's bid out yet, so they're just rough numbers. And right, we don't know if it's 40,000 or 20,000. We don't really know what the number is.
So it could be substantially lower.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, that's my point on that. We typically go high end so we can be successful. Well, thank you, and I really do appreciate you partnering with all the businesses. It's a great thing. I know Uno really appreciates it. Yeah, have a shout out to Uno because she really does work with you guys, so thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Reed.
I've attended many of your performances, never been disappointed. It's fantastic stuff that you guys do. My 50-cent vocabulary word for the day, the symbiotic relationship that you have with the other businesses is fantastic. It creates a whole experience for the visitors. So it's not just going to see the performance. It's going, like you said, dinner, drinks, exploring what else Farmers Branch has to offer. I think that's fantastic. It's a great game plan. I'm looking forward to that expanding. As far as the renovations, like you said, we walked through it. It seems pretty simple. We'll see what we can do to get that. Obviously, I can't promise anything. Of
course.
But I support what needs to be done. It's apparent that these changes need to be made to make it a more comfortable experience for the patrons. So we'll see what we can do. But other than that, keep doing what you're doing. I love the shows. Young Frankenstein was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to a couple that are coming up this year to go see those as well. So again, thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you.
Councilman Villafranca.
Thanks so much, David. Thanks so much, everyone at the Firehouse Theater. Keep up the great work, and I'm thrilled to continue to support you in any way that I can. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Councilman Neal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, David. Thank you, Owen. You guys are fantastic. What you do for our city and our residents, I can't even express it in words. I just want to thank you for you and your staff. Please convey my heartfelt appreciation to your entire staff. It's a fantastic amenity we have here in Farmers Branch. Given the other theaters that are struggling and have difficulty, we have one that is top-notch, doing relatively well. So I really applaud you guys for that hard effort. And thank you for helping our businesses, those packages that you put together. So that's meaningful. So it's a really good relationship to help our city. And I really appreciate the work that you do there. I would like to follow up, take this opportunity for a minute or two and just redirect a question or two to our city manager. You heard Mr. Moore speak about this kitchen cabinet to be removed in this wall. Is it possible for us to fast track that? And if so, can we get this done in the next 60 days? Is that something doable? Or
we can bring it back to the council. So it's going to follow a philosophy of not in the budget, not allocated. So we would have to create a budget amendment to move funding for it, to allocate it in the budget. It's in the hotel motel fund. The answer is yes. We can move quickly with council support with the current budget to move and add it into the current budget.
Yeah, unless I'm misreading the council here, I think we're all pretty much in favor of getting this done quickly. So I would appreciate any efforts and tasks you can do to try and get this done well within 90 days. I think council would ultimately be supportive of that. In addition to that, it has come to my attention that there may be some either delays or miscommunication with respect to invoicing and payments. Could you, Mr. Williamson, please get on top of that and get that straightened out within the next 2 weeks if possible, so that everybody is up to where it needs to be?
Absolutely.
That'd be great. And then finally, I think there was some concern or negotiations and or RFPs going out for HVAC replacements over there. Ben, do you have any feedback on that? When might you expect some time that we can get the HVACs replaced or corrected over there?
I'll have to get that for you. I don't have it in front of me,
Okay.
but I can get you that information.
Okay, that'd be great. So if you just wouldn't mind if you could follow up on those things. And again, David, thank you all so much. Your staff is fantastic. Thank you so very much. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. David, thank you so much. Appreciate your report tonight.
Thanks, Terry. I do want to, I usually always compliment the staff, and I don't want to leave that out. Ben and his team, Darren, and all of them are great supporters, and especially the facilities crew. They come over and respond quickly and take care of things really well. So thank you so much to the staff, and thank you, council, for your continued support. Yeah.
That concludes the public portion of our meeting. I'm going to go ahead and read us into executive session. City Council will convene in closed executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, to discuss, consult with, and receive legal advice from the city attorney regarding council interactions, rules of procedures, and matters in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. We will take about a 10-minute recess and then meet in the conference room to deal with those matters. So Thank you very much. We'll be back out here after that is done. but I need you to.
No. This is actually not too bad. The sun's technically still out. I can grab my phone.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We do not have any action to take out of executive session. So with that, we will adjourn our meeting at 8:47. Thank you all very much.